Fox NFL Sunday set to kick off here at Houlihan Stadium, Tampa, Florida. Eric Clemens and Scott Case with you. Student on the left, Tony Dungy. Mentor on the right, Dennis Green. Dungy looking for his first victory as a head coach. Boy, Scott, nothing would make him happier than to beat Dennis Green, his former employer.
He's looking for that first win, and it couldn't be any sweeter if it was against Minnesota.
All right, Michael Hustad is teeing the ball up. A little bit breezy here this afternoon. Wind officially listed at about 7 miles an hour, but it can gust up here a little bit and down on the field as well as the ball's blown off the tee, and Hustad is going to look to Donnie Abraham to hold it for him. And Hustad will be kicking it deep to Qadri Ismail and Amp Lee. And we're about set to kick it off here in Tampa as the Buccaneers taking on the Central Division leading Minnesota Vikings. The kick is high, coming down to Ismail, and Ismail takes it away from Lee at his 10, and Ismail coming near side, gets it out to close to the 30-yard line before he is brought down by Jeff Gooch on the special teams, and the Minnesota offense led by one of the greats of all time in pro football, Warren Moon. This season, so-so in terms of touchdowns to interceptions. The offensive line, a good one. Stussy, Randall McDaniel, the Pro Bowler, Christie, John Jarek, and Corey Stringer. The receivers and backs, Robert Smith having a great year. Charles Evans, the blocking fullback. Reed, Carter, and Andrew Jordan, your receivers. First and 10 for the Vikings. They'll start it, call it at the 30-yard line. And the lone setback right now is Amp Lee, as the Vikings have started with a 3 wide receiver set, 2 split out top. Moon setting up the screen, gets it to Amp Lee, who has blockers in front, and Lee up close to first down yardage. He has a first down across the 40 to the 41-yard line. He was brought down by Hardy Nickerson. Take a look at the Tampa defense. Chidi Ahanatu, perhaps their most consistent performer there, but Warren Sapp has 4 sacks. Reagan Upshaw, the rookie, has looked good on the other side. The linebackers, Nickerson is always behind, around the ball. Martz and Derek Brooks. The defensive secondary, Mayhew, Melvin Johnson, John Lentz, and Charles Dimry. First down and 10. It's a nice screen to Amp Lee. Picks up close to 11 yards on the play. Give to Robert Smith, jukes behind the line of scrimmage and now has some room. Gets out up close to the 50-yard line. Call it a pickup of 8. John Lynch brought him down.
What about Robert Smith this year? What a great year he's having. He's fixing to break his single-season record in rushing, leading the league in attempts, 3rd in rushing yardage. What a big year for him.
Up until this year, he had always been hampered his first 3 years in the league by injury. Call it a gain of 6 on that play, but this year he has been very healthy and a very big part of the Vikings rushing offense. On second and short, Moon, the quick out. He gets it over to Jake Reed on the far side. Reed has another first down as he gets out to the Tampa Bay 42-yard line. Charles Dimry brought him down.
Well, this could be there all day. I'm telling you, it depends on how Charles Dimry wants to play this. If he gets back, they're going to throw the short stuff. They get up on him. Here it is. Right here, Jake Reed with just a quick out, and Warren Moon's got one of the strongest arms in the league. That'll be there all day if he plays off like that.
Vikings with 2 of the more physical receivers in the National Football League, and Jake Reed and Chris Carter. Reed is split out top, Carter to the near side. As Moon has another first down to work with off the play fake. Moon throws to the near side and has Chris Carter wide open inside the 30. Fumble the football and a turnover. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have recovered. Robert Brooks was there, and so was Hardy Nickerson, and Nickerson came up with the football. Big break for the Buccaneers there.
Here he is right here. Going to come down, just sit in the hole. Warren Moon gets him the ball. Look, there's nobody around him at all. Nice catch. Got to hold on to the ball. That's what Tampa Bay defense has to do. That may be the biggest play of the year for them so far.
It forced the fumble there on the Minnesota drive and get the ball to the offense, and Trent Dilfer at the 21, and Dilfer gives it to Reggie Brooks, who has some room up the middle, and Brooks gets 6 to 7 yards up close to the 27-yard line. Dilfer not having a great season here this season, completing only 46% of his passes with a touchdown and 10 interceptions. The offensive line healthy for the first time this year. Gruber and Jim Pond return to the left side. That's the key there. Backs and receivers, Reggie Brooks filling in admirably for holdout Eric Rett. Mike Allstott, a future star at the other running back spot. The give again to Brooks, again goes up the middle, has a little room, but not as much this time as a host of Vikings bring him down, led by John Randall and Dixon Edwards. Look at the Vikings defense. The line is an active one. Fernando Smith, Esra Tuaolo, John Randall, the Pro Bowler, and Derek Alexander. The linebackers tally the leading tackler on this team, Jeff Brady, in the middle, and Dixon Edwards, a free agent from the Cowboys. Defensive secondary, a young and solid one, Fuller, Thomas Griffith, and Dwayne Washington. On third down and short. A give to Reggie Brooks, and I don't know if he made it. Brooks is upended as soon as he got the football, and he might be about a half-yard short of the first down.
I believe he's going to be short. That's got to be so frustrating for Tampa Bay. Big turnover. They're staying within themselves, trying to run the ball, and on third and short, they just can't get it. Frustrating.
And the boos rain down from the crowd here at Houlihan Stadium in Tampa. Buccaneers have showed very little offensively all season long, but one of the bright spots and one of their weapons is Tommy Barnhart. Doesn't kick them long, but kicks them high for the defense and his special teams to get under it, and they have to with David Palmer back deep to receive for the Vikings, averaging 19 yards a return this season. This one he fields at the 20, muffs it, picks it up, and it's brought down right there. Kenneth Gant was all over him. Still scoreless. The Vikings get the ball for their second possession when we return. Eric Clemens and Scott Case back in Tampa, and the Buccaneer fans fired up. After that nice special teams play corrals David Palmer for a big loss, and Robert Smith gets through the hole for about 4 to 5 yards before he's brought down by John Lynch.
Warren Moon, you could tell when we were talking to him yesterday, a little bit frustrated with the way the offense is going. They just need to start settling down, run their offense. They've got great skill people from Minnesota Vikings. Just get them the ball and let them make plays.
He talked about a lot of penalties and dropped passes, and even though that wasn't necessarily a drop by Chris Carter, it was indeed a fumble and killed an impressive march. Well, it's second down and 5 for the Vikings. Smith, the lone setback. He takes the handoff, cuts back the other way, but doesn't get much as a host of Buccaneers bring him down, led by Nickerson and John Lynch. Warren Sapp also in on the play.
So far, the Tampa Bay defense is hanging in there. Warren Sapp's made a couple good plays. He's the most active guy on that front line. If Tampa Bay expects to win today, he's going to have to make some big plays for this defense.
Coach Tony Dungy told us at meetings yesterday that Warren was finally coming into his own, looking very much like the player they drafted out of Miami a couple years ago. Has 4 sacks this season to lead the team, and there's a man who knows a little something about defense. Tony Dungy, coordinator for 4 years at Minnesota before coming here to Tampa, and the give to Smith, who spins out across the 20 to the 22 and gives Minnesota a fresh set of downs. Call it the 23-yard line for the first down.
Watch Robert Smith here. He just sits in there, waits, and then bumps it outside. It's a nice cut by him, a little spin. He knows where the yardage is. He just has to get that extra yard. He got it, first down.
Smith now getting some water on the sideline.
He's been a workhorse for him this year.
Amp Lee now the lone setback behind Moon. 2 receivers split to the near side. Moon off the play fake. Gets it out to Amp Lee at the 26, and Lee met immediately there. Hardy Nickerson was in on the play. He got some help from Tony Bowie in the secondary, and Derek Brooks also came in to clean up.
Tell you what, Amp Lee's a great guy to have in the offensive backfield for you. You get him the ball, he's like a wide receiver out there. He can make you miss. He can go and get the extra yardage. Just what an acquisition by the Minnesota Vikings to get him.
Really an all-purpose back. Those 19 catches, time for 4th in the NFL for catches among running backs. Second down and 5 for the Vikings. The ball at the 28-yard line. 2nd and 4 call. The give to Charles Evans. The first man through, and Evans is met immediately. Brad Culpepper was there, and Tyoka Jackson also cleaned up.
I'll tell you what, this is what Tampa needs to do. They get him in the third, medium, third and long situations. We talked to Tony Dungy. They want to come after Warren Moon. I think everybody all over the league, that's what people feel you have to do to Warren. Go after him. They got their chance now. Let's see what happens.
Warren Moon bringing his team up. The 4 receivers set up now. 2 split to the near side, 2 to the far. David Palmer to the left side in the slot, and Moon going back to throw it up, throws to the near side, and it is off the hands of Carter, but we have a flag down, and Carter shows Martin Mayhew, hey, buddy, you interfered with me. That's a first down our side.
Martin Mayhew went for a ride that time. He was on Chris Carter's back for about 3 or 4 yards.
Referee Howard Rowe going to make the call, and it is pass interference against Martin Mayhew and the Buccaneers.
Pass interference. Number 35 on the defense. First down, Minnesota.
So the Vikings.
Here's Chris Carter right here. Watch him work on him. Watch him work on him. And Martin Mayhew's all over him, holding him, riding his back. Oh, there's no doubt about that.
And he almost held onto that ball.
And he had something to say to Chris Carter about that.
So Tony Dungy's defense has not been very effective so far in the game at stopping the Vikings from moving the football. Fortunately, they got a turnover on Minnesota's first possession. On 1st and 10, Moon going over the middle, has his tight end, and is it a fumble or an incompletion? Boy, what are they calling it here? We don't have a signal yet.
Boy, I don't know if he had control of the ball or not there.
We still don't have a signal yet. The Buccaneers think they have touchdown. Dennis Green is hoping otherwise. Let's wait until the decision. I think you're right, Scott. It certainly didn't seem like he had possession of the ball when he was hit after the catch.
Yeah, it didn't look like it. It looked like he was juggling the ball, and when he hit the ground, it popped out. The referees are having a long talk about this.
Unless the ruling could possibly be that Mayhew caught it in the air. Everybody's walking backwards now.
After discussion on the field, we've got a completion. The person was down by contact. Second down.
All right, completion, down by contact. So Minnesota retains possession, and Tony Dungy says, somebody come over to me and explain this to me.
That could have been the biggest play of their year so far right there. Now watch this. He hits Andrew Jordan in the flat. Nice little pattern. Looks like he was bobbling it a little bit. It looked like.
Excellent call by the officials. Obviously down by contact, but we have the benefit of slow motion up here.
They're still talking about it. All right. Watch Andrew Jordan. He's got the ball. The helmet went right on the ball, and it's hard to tell from this angle. You can't tell whether he had control or not. But it looks like he's got it. It looks like he's got it.
He's sliding on the ground, and the ball popped out.
Looks like he's got it. Good call.
I don't know whether you felt this way as a player, but most of the time, the officials are correct with their calls.
You'd be surprised how accurate they are.
Yeah.
Of course, I still like to argue with them, but
Dennis Green is happy for now. Not that man, Tony Dungy. Call it a gain of about 4 yards on the play for the Vikings. And Moon off the pump fake, going deep down the far side, and nobody was there. Incomplete.
Hey, that was good secondary coverage there. Warren had all day in the pocket. Kind of moved to his left a little bit to bide some time, but there was just nobody open.
He was looking for Chris Carter. Charles Dimry was on the coverage, but again, he kind of threw that one away. Nobody was open.
Look at the coverage here on Carter. The young rookie, Donnie Abraham, he's going to be a star in this league.
Really high on him as Carter comes split out wide to the right side on 3rd and 5. 3 receivers in now for the Vikings, and Moon back to throw. Comes over the middle and has Chris Carter wide open. Carter lateraling it. Oh, it's lateral twice. And Amp Lee takes it further downfield, but we have a flag. And I believe that one's going to be a forward lateral, which is, of course, illegal in the National Football League.
I want you to watch Chris Carter here come down, push off on the rookie. Hello, rookie. Welcome to the NFL. Watch this. Pushes off, gets him off, falls down. Then Warren talked yesterday about making something happen. I think this is what he's talking about. Great play.
Well, that lateral to Jake Reed. Drake Reed was about a yard or two in front of him by the time he caught the ball. And, of course, that is a penalty in the
Illegal
NFL.
forward pass on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot. Still enough for a first down.
So Carter at least got the first down before the illegal forward pass. Jake Reed probably knew what was going on too. Quickly lateral to Amp Lee to try to resurrect the play, but nothing doing, even though the Vikings do have great field position at the Tampa 35-yard line on 1st and 10. And the give to Robert Smith, trying to find some room around the corner, and met hard there by John Lynch, and another flag flies on the play. Flag down at about the 27-yard line of the Buccaneers. Holding against Minnesota. One of the bugaboos Warren Moon and some of the team members talked to us about.
Holding number 87 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Dennis Green spoke to us about it as well. The penalties, shooting the Vikings in the foot at the most inopportune times. Hunter Goodwin, the culprit on that play. Minnesota comes into the game with 53 penalties for 410 yards, 4th in the NFL.
That's what they've done all year to themselves. Shot themselves in the foot. I can hardly believe they can still walk after all that.
So we'll play it over again on 1st down and 20, and the give to Amp Lee. Lee has a lot of room off the left side, gets inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. So a good pickup of 7 there. Set up 2nd and 12. I'll call it 13 yards for the Vikings.
I like that call. They didn't freak out. They didn't start throwing the bomb. Still got 2 more downs to get the first down. I love that call. That's having some confidence in your offense right there.
And Tampa hasn't done much in the way of getting pressure on Moon like they wanted to do early in the game, or being close to the receivers when Moon is trying to find them down the field. So on 2nd and 13, Warren Moon going back, goes to the far side and hits David Palmer. Now let's go for McDonald's game break, returning to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Eric, take a look at Kerry Collins. Drops the ball on the snap, picks it up, keeps his eyes focused on who he wants to go to. Who is that? Wesley Walls. 4th touchdown reception of the season for Walls. Panthers on top 7-0 over the Rams. Back to Eric and Scott.
Okay, JB, thank you very much. Vikings on 3rd and 9. And Moon looking to put it up. Blitz is on. He has to get rid of it quickly. As blitzing from his linebacker spot was Demetrius Dubose.
That's exactly what they talked about doing to Warren Moon yesterday. That pass was open, but Warren didn't have enough time to get it to him.
Demetrius Dubose coming in there free and clear. And Warren had to get rid of it. So the Tampa Bay defense holds. And Mitch Berger will be forced to punt it. Berger averaging 40.5 yards a kick, but he's placed 11 inside the 20-yard line so far this year. And that's what he's going to try to do here to pin the Buccaneers deep into their own territory. High to the far side. That one's going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. So the Buccaneers will get it back at their own 20-yard line. We are still scoreless here at Houlihan Stadium. We'll return in just a moment. Eric Clemens and Scott Case back in Tampa, where the Buccaneers and Vikings are scoreless thanks to a key turnover forced by the Buccaneers defense on the Vikings' first possession and a defensive stand as the Vikings were into Tampa territory on their last possession. Now Trent Dilfer has it to do all over again, leading his Buccaneers 1st and 10, and Dilfer to put it upstairs. Throws quickly over the middle, has his tight end Jackie Harris. A very short gain on the play, maybe 3 yards before he was brought down by Dixon Edwards and Darryl Talley.
Well, as we told you, Trent Dilfer has been struggling this year. Look at this. college career, 51 touchdowns, only 21 interceptions. Check this out, NCAA record 271 without an interception. And look at this right here. That's the big difference in Tampa Bay.
Dilfer has gotten quite a baptism into pro football in the NFL on 2nd and 6. Give to Reggie Brooks, and Brooks trying to find some room, finds very little, if any, and the Vikings are claiming fumble, but the officials say he was down by contact. So Brooks picks up nothing on the play. That'll set up 3rd down and 6.
No, I don't really understand that. They came in with 2 tight ends, 2 backs, only 1 wide receiver. Looks to me if you want to run the ball, go ahead and bring an extra wide receiver in, split them out a little bit, get everything out of the middle and try to run the ball. I don't know why they're trying to jam everything up inside and shove it down their throat.
Carolina very successful running the ball up the middle against the Vikings last week. And the Buccaneers trying to pick up that page unsuccessfully that time on 3rd down and 6. Dilfer to put it up. Pocket collapsing. Gets it outside, but a little low, intended for Jackie Harris. Dixon Edwards was right there, so once again, the Buccaneer offense fails. They'll have to punt.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that wasn't a pretty play, but that wasn't an interception either. Trent Dilfer didn't throw it out there and throw it to somebody for a touchdown like he did against Detroit. So at least they're still in the game.
He told us in meetings on Friday that every time he throws one away, it seems to go into the hands of the other guys. And he's seen some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL throw him right to the other team and have it bounce off his chest. I guess he thinks he's snake bitten, but his team's still in the game as Barnhart, a nice high punt coming down to David Palmer at the 26. And Palmer gets up to the 30-yard line before his forward progress is stopped. And the Buccaneers special teams are fired up. Darnell Stevens making the tackle there. Vikings will try to get something on the board when we return to Tampa in a moment. We're back in Tampa, and Joe Marciano headlining one of the few bright spots for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season. Their special teams allowing only 4.9 yards per punt return, 2nd in the NFL. And we'll show you why in just a second. But the Vikings have it 1st and 10 at their own 30. Warren Moon trying to jumpstart his struggling offense. He'll put it into the air, goes over the middle up the seam, and he has his tight end, Andrew Jordan. Jordan all the way up to the 45-yard line, 1st down Minnesota.
Here's Kenny Gant right here, one of the best special teams players in the league. Watch his effort. Goes down the blocker, knocks him down. He's down. He could lay there. Hops up, throws his body around. Just great effort. Then gives us a little Hulk pose.
The Hollywood Hulk Hogan pose, I guess they call that. There's Joe Marciano. Quite impressed with the first 2 efforts by his punt team so far today. And the handoff goes to Robert Smith, trying to find some room outside. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers close the hole quickly. John Lynch was there along with Charles Dimry to bring him down. Call it a pickup of 5, though. Good positive yardage for Robert Smith.
You know, they've run a 3 wideout set several times and run out of it almost every time they've been in it and been very successful with it. They haven't thrown the ball very much out of that 3 wideout look, but they've been real successful running the ball out of it.
2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. Smith is the lone setback. And Moon to put it up again, goes on the quick out pattern, has Jake Reed on the far side, and Reed gets it down to the 36-yard line before Charles Dimry and John Lynch brought him down.
Well, that's the same play as it just happened a little while ago. Charles Dimry's too far off. Watch him. He's too far off. Jake just comes down the field, a simple out route. Warren Moon's great arm. That's there all day. If Charles Dimry's going to play like that, he's going to get beat that 5, 6, 7-yard route all day long.
Pick up of 14 yards on that play. The Vikings once again moving the ball down the field smartly. And now there's some confusion on the Tampa Bay side of the ball. A couple of players were trying to run off the field. And it appears the Buccaneers may have had to take a timeout. Back with more in a moment. Next week, Fox NFL Sunday begins with America's favorite pregame show. Let JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie start off your football Sunday with nonstop entertainment and up-to-the-minute information. Also next Sunday, take Terry Bradshaw's football quiz and find out how much football you really know. Don't miss Fox NFL Sunday. Check your local listings.
Johnson.
All right, how do you think you do on a football quiz here? Just trivial NFL stuff. Now, you are pretty good for 12 seasons. You know a lot of NFL stuff. Okay.
Oh, big fan.
We'll test you later. What we know. Carter in motion to the far side. And on 1st and 10 from the 35, Robert Smith trying to pick a hole around the corner and does. And Smith met hard by a host of Buccaneers, but not after he gained 7 or 8 yards on the play.
Three wide receivers again on an early down. And they're running the ball. They must see something they really like. They're getting everybody spread out and letting Robert Smith do his thing.
Some people have had a knock on this man, saying he wasn't a tough inside runner, but he has held up nicely this season and is off to easily the best season of his young career. Former sprinter out of Ohio State University, Robert Smith. And on 1st down, they give again to Robert Smith. Finds a hole, breaks it outside. Here it goes. Robert Smith, touchdown. "26 yards for Robert Smith." Puts the Vikings finally on the scoreboard first.
Watch Robert Smith. This is what he's looking for. He doesn't really want to bash it up in there. Makes Charles Emery miss, and it's a foot race, and I promise you, that guy right there can run. He's going to outrun everybody on the field.
26 yards on the scoring play, and now Scott Sisson in for the extra point. A perfect 12 for 12 in this category this season, and that one is straight through. So the Vikings finally march it down the field and get the job done by putting it in the end zone. They lead it 7-0 with a half minute to go here in the first quarter.
Now watch this. Robert Smith, good block by Charles Evans, sealing off, just makes a great cut. And once he gets outside, I'm telling you, it is over. He's got that sprinter speed. Watch Jake Reed right here. Talk about big physical wide receivers. They not only catch the ball, good night. That's a great block, and that's what sprung him right there. He's going to buy Jake Reed a big steak after the game.
Melvin Johnson cleaned out of there by the block from the physical Jake Reed. 6'3", 216 he's listed at. I don't know if I'd want a guy that big coming down on me if I was a defensive back either.
Well, that's a big mismatch today for sure. You got the small corners for Tampa Bay against those big wideouts from Minnesota. Of course, anybody they play, it's a mismatch.
And some Viking fans making the trip down and can very much afford to dress that way here in warm Tampa. Temperature 77 degrees at kickoff. Now the Buccaneers have to try to put something together here late in the first quarter. Their offense has produced very little on their possession so far. The Minnesota Vikings, meanwhile, 5 plays to eat up 70 yards, 26 of them by Robert Smith on that run as he broke it to the far side and went into the end zone. Mitch Berger to kick it off. And this one's coming down very deep in the end zone as Nilo Sylvan was back deep to receive it. It'll be a touchback. Coming up tonight, Fox switches from the hard-hitting football to some hard-hitting in Major League Baseball. Braves and Cardinals, game 4 of the NLCS. Brian Jordan and Ronnie Gann, who hurt his old teammates the other night with 2 homers. And that proved to be enough for the victory. That's following football right here later today on Fox.
Cardinals giving my hometown Braves the little tough time.
Cinderella Cardinals they've been so far in this series. Trent Dilfer leading his offense. 1st and 10, I formation. And they give to Brooks, and Brooks has some room, bouncing it to the outside. Brooks turning the corner and picking up the first down at the 31-yard line. Orlando Thomas chased him out of bounds.
Orlando Thomas, what a great rookie year he had. I believe he had 9 interceptions, unheard of. Reggie Brooks, now that's something he can do. Got those big, strong, quick legs, get up inside, make a nice little cut to the outside. Watch it here. He's waiting for all the blocking. Jumps outside. That's just good vision by Reggie Brooks.
And that'll do it here in the first quarter. The Minnesota Vikings leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7-0. Back with more after these words from your local Fox station. Second quarter about to get underway here at Houlihan Stadium in Tampa. And Scott, the Buccaneers have something to be pretty thrilled about. They're still in the game, trailing only 7-0, and they pick up their first down on that run.
Well, they need to build on that because they can't put any more pressure on that defense of theirs.
So 1st and 10 after the 11-yard scamper by Reggie Brooks. Call it 12-yard scamper. Ball placed at the 32-yard line, and again the Bucs come out in the I formation, and this time Reggie Brooks met in the backfield, and the Purple Gang is all over him. Now time for another McDonald's game break. Let's send it back to our Fox Television Center and James Brown. JB?
Eric, rookie quarterback Tony Banks is going to have to work on protecting the ball in the pocket. Here he fumbles for the 9th time in 3 games. Linebacker Kevin Green picks it up for the Panthers. Rumbles 66 yards. Scott, Eric, watch this style point dive here. 14-0 Carolina over St. Louis. Back to Eric and Scott.
Oh, Kevin Green maybe coming off the top rope. We had a Hulk Hogan pose by Gann here, and Green, who did some wrestling earlier this year, I believe, comes off the top rope for that one. Meanwhile, Trent Dilfer on 2nd down and 12 tried to swing it out to Michael Allstott out of the backfield, and he was under some heavy pressure, had to throw that one away.
I want you to watch Darryl Talley right here on the end, coming from the outside. Ian Beckles just lets him go. It's a free rein. As a quarterback, that's not what you want to see coming.
And again, despite that 1st down run by Brooks, the Buccaneers have done pretty much nothing. They have only 25 yards of total offense right now, and the total net yards for the Vikings as we start the second quarter, 177. So Dilfer and the offense needs to come up with a string of plays. On 3rd down and long, Dilfer steps up in the pocket, looking deep, throws that one too high for Alvin Harper, and incomplete.
That's an awful pass. Awful pass. That was great protection by that offensive line that's together for the first time this year. Trent stood in there really strong, just made a really bad throw.
Harper appeared to have some room to make a catch if that one's a little more on target. So again, Tommy Barnhart forced to punt. The up man is Amp Lee, the deep man at his 28-yard line, David Palmer. This one's more of a line drive type kick coming down to Palmer, who signals for the fair catch at the 28-yard line. So the Vikings will take over their 1st and 10 for their first possession of the second quarter, leading 7-0. We'll be back with more from Tampa in just a few moments. Eric Clemens and Scott Case back with you from Tampa, Florida. The Vikings about to take over on their first possession of the second quarter, leading at 7-0 off Robert Smith's 26-yard touchdown run late in the first quarter. Warren Moon on 1st and 10 as Smith is his lone set back and 3 receivers, 2 split out to the right. He's looking to put it up. Moon looking to a secondary receiver and has Carter wide open over the middle, and Carter across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
I want you to look at the last play for Tampa Bay. They can't get anything going on offense. Look at this right here. Offensive line's got a great pocket. Trent Dilfer's coming back. As a quarterback, what else do you want? Right there, Alvin Harper's open. He overthrows it. That's just a bad throw by Trent Dilfer.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Dilfer can watch a master. One of the prettiest balls in football history, Warren Moon. Generally on target when he puts it in the air, and this time he gives it to his durable halfback, Robert Smith. Smith dances across midfield to about the 49-yard line before Derek Brooks brought him down, and there you see Moon's numbers. Moon
is such a leader for this team. Trent Dilfer, that's the kind of thing he has to do, is to look at somebody like Warren Moon. It's going to do him no good to look at those pictures down there. He needs to look at somebody that's a real leader and try to do some of those things. This team really needs a leader back.
More bad news perhaps in store, a bad omen. The Vikings usually start slow, but the second quarter belongs to them. They've outscored their opponents 42-20 this season in the second quarter. And Smith cutting it back, brought down hard. Lynch and Lonnie March was the one who cleaned up and sent Robert Smith going backwards, but he still picked up another 4 yards on the play. That'll leave it 3rd and short for Minnesota.
Man, Lonnie March, how about that? Is that a shot? Here he is right here. Here's Lonnie March. Watch him come and attack the ball carrier right here. Robert Smith just kind of running along, trying to find a hole. Lonnie March seeking him out, seek and destroy. Along with Lynch right there, too.
Lynch and March got there about the same time, but I think the impetus was on the shot from Lynch coming up from that strong safety position. So on 3rd and short, Moon to put it in the air. Under some pressure, and down he goes. Chidi Ahanotu on the sack, his first of the year. In fact, the Buccaneers have not had a sack against the Vikings here in Tampa since 1993.
Well, maybe that can get them going right here, because I'm going to tell you what, that is the biggest play of the game for them right there. 3rd and short, Minnesota's trying to throw the ball. They've got the best guy in the league. They've got the best guy in the league running the ball right now. Chidi Ahanotu getting all kinds of pressure. That's just a huge play for Tampa right there. That may be a momentum changer.
So Mitch Berger, the Vikings, forced to punt. He'll strike it from his 35, and it's a high and deep one. And it's going to come down into the end zone. And that'll be a touchback. Bounced in and out once again. So Tampa Bay will try to get something going on offense when we come back to Tampa in just a moment. More football coming up next. Our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues when the Lions battle the Raiders and the Eagles take on the Giants in an NFC East matchup. Exciting NFL action coming up next right here on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Buccaneers trying to get something going on offense. Had worked 1 first down so far in the game. Brooks coming in motion, and Dilfer looking to put it up the deep out. He has his man. Rob Thomas makes the catch close to first down yardage. He's right near the marker. I think he might be a few inches short, however. Tony Dungy hopes his offense can come up with a second first down of the game.
Look at this right here. You don't think that makes Tony Dungy sick? 3 points in the last 7 quarters. Unbelievable in the National Football League.
And only 3 touchdowns this season. And 1 passing touchdown this season. They need to get it going in a hurry against a very aggressive defense on 2nd down and short. Reggie Brooks gets out across the 30, up close to the 32-yard line. That's first down yardage. Derek Alexander brought him down.
Well, they're still staying in their game plan, which I like. Reggie Brooks has been running the ball fairly well. Of course, we all know that they wish they had Eric Rhett back there, but Reggie Brooks has been the guy so far this year. He's done a pretty good job for him, but they just need to stick with the run and make him look for the run.
The lone setback behind Trent Dilfer is Michael Allstott in a double tight end formation. And off the play fake, Dilfer has plenty of time, looking deep down the near side, and has Courtney Hawkins open. But that one slightly underthrown, and Corey Fuller was able to recover in time to knock it away.
I'm going to tell you, Trent has had the worst time this year with that deep ball. He seems to have no touch on it. Courtney Hawkins was wide open down here. Here's Courtney Hawkins right here, just running a go route. That's all he's doing. There's very simple. Corey Fuller, little hitch and go. Look how far he is behind Corey Fuller. That ball's out where it should be. That's a big, big play for Tampa Bay.
Buccaneers fans thought there might have been a little contact before the ball got to Hawkins, but nothing doing according to the officials, so it's 2nd down and 10. Allstott on the carry and doesn't have much up the middle. Host of Vikings bring him down. Darryl Talley, Dixon Edwards is there. They limit the gain to about 2 yards. There's a flag down on the play right in the middle of the pile. And the indication, face mask against the Vikings.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty only, into the run. Repeat 2nd down.
That was caused by Mike Allstott. Not one guy can bring that guy down. 250 pounds and runs hard, very hard.
He is a very versatile receiver out of the backfield, too. In the last game against Detroit, he had 8 carries for 31 yards, 4 catches for 30 yards. And the coaches here at Tampa really like him. Rookie out of Purdue. On 2nd and 5 after the face mask penalty, the give to Brooks, and Brooks slammed down hard as he gets close to the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, there's just not much there. That front seven for the Vikings is as tough as anybody in the National Football League. It is very, very tough to get anything going against this Vikings defense. I want you to look at this right here. You talk about some defense. Second in sacks, second in interceptions, second in takeaways, second and third down conversions, tied for third in touchdowns allowed. Are you kidding me? That's a great defense. Coach Fazio's got to be ecstatic down there.
Continuing the tradition helped molded by Tony Dungy before he came over to Tampa to take the head coaching reins. On 3rd and 2, Jerry Ellison bursts through a hole off right guard, picks up the first down. So Tampa Bay sustaining a little something here as they get it close to the 45-yard line.
Well, they're working hard for it. There's no doubt about that. Nothing comes easy for Tampa. I'm going to tell you what, when you're 0-5, everything is tough. Everything is tough. Foge, Fazio, I know Foge very well. What a great emotional coach. These guys just rally around him and play so hard for him. It's unbelievable.
Tremendous contrast in personalities from him, the emotional leader of their defense, as opposed to Tony Dungy, always cool and calm. And Gilford looking near side, has his receiver. Courtney Hawkins catches it, gets into Viking territory at the 49-yard line.
Tell you what, give that offensive line a little credit there. Jeff Brady was coming looking for some pressure on the quarterback. But look at Corey Fuller here. He's too far off. When you're coming after the quarterback with those kind of guys, get up on him and make a big play.
Call it a pickup of 8 yards on that completion from Dilfer to Hawkins. Now the Buccaneers have 2 receivers split to the left side, 1 split to the right, and the give to Allstott. And Allstott gets up very close to the first down as he rumbles his way forward to the 46-yard line of Minnesota.
Tell you what, Mike Allstott, does Tony Dungy love this guy or what? We were talking to Tony yesterday. He absolutely loves this guy. Says that, which I agree with him, maybe next year a Pro Bowl for this young man. He's built in the mold of a Moose Johnson, Dallas. Very, very similar. Catches the ball great.
Leads his team in receptions coming into this game with 16 of them. 3-time MVP during his career at Purdue. Finished 11th in the Heisman balloting in his last season. And there's the give to Reggie Brooks. And Reggie Brooks spins forward and gets another first down on 3rd and short.
Good effort by
Unless
Reggie
he gets a
Brooks.
bad spot. No, he got a good spot. First down. So the Buccaneer drive continues.
Good effort by Reggie Brooks right there. Somebody was in the backfield. Looked like Dixon Edwards had made a little penetration. Good spin move, get the first.
You got to believe Tony Dungy has saved that goal pattern that Courtney Hawkins ran earlier, and he's going to try to come back to that a little later, especially if this team is still in the game. Dilfer steps up in the pocket. He'll keep it. Dilfer inside the 40 before he slides safely inside the 38 to the 37-yard line. Fernando Smith was there, just in case he decided to keep running with it.
Good job by Trent right here now. This offensive line's doing a fairly good job, getting a little bit of penetration, Look how wide open it is right inside here. Mike Allstott turn around, getting a little block. He's not going to lead the league in rushing, but that's not bad.
Picked up 7 on the play. Sets up a 2nd and 3. Dilfer with 2 receivers, split to the left. And the give on the draw to Allstott, and Allstott barreling forward still. He'll be very close to first down yardage. In fact, I think he has it. If they give him the spot, he's down to the 35-yard line of Minnesota.
I don't think one guy has tackled him yet today. It takes 2 or 3 guys to tackle this man. I'm telling you, he is something else, something special.
We have an official timeout on the field for measurement. Allstott picking up the tough yardage inside, but at Purdue, he was a featured guy. He was their go-to guy, and he's trying to improve on those blocking skills. That's what Tony Dungy told us that he has to improve on, but Dungy feels he's going to be a star in this league very quickly.
Watch him coming in there. I mean, running hard, getting low, those big old strong legs, people flying around, just driving people back. This is the 12th play of this drive. Wow.
What usually happens to the Buccaneers about now is that they do something to shoot themselves in the foot. On the rollout, Dilfer gets it away. has Jackie Harris inside the 30. Jackie Harris spun down at the 26-yard line, close to another Buccaneer first down.
Oh, I like that out of Trent Dilfer. That's a nice play right there. He turns around, he's in his face. Look here, when Trent comes around and turns around, he's right in his face. Keep your composure and throw the ball and get the ball in Jackie Harris's hands, which is not a bad guy to have the ball in his hands. He's a guy that needs to make some big plays today for Tampa Bay. Way to hang in there, Trent. That's nice.
He does have a strong arm indeed. Doesn't have to be on balance to get it to his receiver. And now this is Brooks. And Brooks dances back inside of a tackle, and he's brought down by Robert Griffith. But Brooks gets it down to close to the 22-yard line.
Well, this is very similar to the drive against Detroit, where they drove right down the field, and then Trent threw it to Benny Blaze for an interception and a touchdown.
And this is very typical of their recent history against the Minnesota Vikings. They hang around, they hang around, they hang around. And their last two victories against the Vikings have both come in overtime. Impressive march led by Trent Dilfer and his troops. 1st and 10 from the Viking 22-yard line. Dilfer to put it in the air. Comes near side, and that one was well covered. Alvin Harper well covered by Corey Fuller on that one, and Dilfer kind of threw it away incomplete.
That was great coverage by Corey Fuller right there. Here's Alvin Harper. Watch Corey Fuller. Let him close the gap on him. He's not getting out of there. He's letting the cushion close and then make a great break. Man, that's textbook right there.
That ball-hawking secondary of the Minnesota Vikings. 13 interceptions by this defensive unit, and Fuller thought he might have had one on that play. 2nd and 10. All starting Brooks in the I formation. Dilfer throwing a quick slant, and that one caught and dropped by Alvin Harper.
Well, they didn't pay Alvin Harper $10 million or whatever it was to make that kind of a play. He's got to make some catches. He has been chastised in the media so bad down here. He is really wanting to make some big play. I think he's pressing a little bit. Got those 5 stitches in his hand, though.
Yeah, to his defense, he split the webbing between the forefinger and middle finger on his right hand in practice earlier this week, just catching a routine pass. Took 5 stitches, and that's the 2nd time he's done that this year. In preseason, he took 9 stitches.
Kind of shaking it around a little bit right there. Kind of shaking it around. Might have re-injured it.
On 3rd down and 5. Dilfer comes near side, has Alvin Harper, and Harper will be short. He does not get to the 1st down marker. Robert Griffith drove him out of bounds. Fans calling for the Buccaneers to go for it on 4th and short. But Tony Dungy is going to come in with his very accurate field goal kicker, Michael Husted.
Again, here's Alvin Harper. Corey Fuller right back here. Really the same play as last time. That 1st down. Got to get there.
Harper big and strong. Maybe they were counting on him to break a tackle or two and get to the marker, but he did not. So this will be a 32-yard attempt by Husted. And he hooked it. His first missed field goal of the year from 32 yards out. His first miss in his last 16 field goal efforts. So the Buccaneers still do not get on the scoreboard. Eric Clemens and Scott Case back in Tampa, Florida. And now time for our Aflac trivia question. Who's the only NFL player to make an interception and throw an interception in the same game? You ever play some quarterback in your younger days?
Are you kidding me? You have to be able to throw the ball over 30 yards. I can't do it with this chicken wing over here.
Well, this guy certainly can. And Warren Moon, though, misfires on that one. He was looking for Jake Reed deep down the far side of the field. Closest to him was Melvin Johnson. And Husted had hit on his last 16 field goal efforts. A perfect 3 for 3 from that distance, between 30 and 39 yards this year, but he hooked that one wide left.
Boy, to miss a field goal after that drive, that is just a killer for Tampa Bay.
On 2nd down, Robert Smith trying to find some room off the right side. And he didn't get much. Picked up about 3 yards on the play. That'll set up 3rd and long for the Vikings. And the defensive situation, Tony Dungy and the Buccaneers want.
Kind of surprising me. They keep going to the 3 wideouts in the early downs and trying to run the ball. They've had a little bit of success. There he is, Robert Smith, having just a career year so far for him.
But he goes out of the game now on 3rd and long, and Ant Lee, their pass-catching specialist, is alone set back behind Warren Moon. And Moon to put it up, blitz coming off the corner. Moon under pressure, has to throw it away. Donnie Abraham was coming on the corner blitz.
That's a great call. Man, I love that. Tony Dungy knows that you got to come after Warren Moon. He's not coming at him with linebackers this time. It's Donnie Abraham way on the outside. Look at him coming in from the side over here, right in Warren Moon's face. Yes, sir.
And Moon was looking for Jake Reed on the far side, had to get rid of it quickly. Now the punt coming from Mitch Berger. And comes down at the 18-yard line, Nilo Sylvan. And Sylvan is brought down. He gets it up to the 28-yard line. Brought down by Richard Brown of the Vikings special teams. Tampa takes over again when we return.
Here's Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucs right here. You could tell talking to him yesterday that he was really taking it hard. Look at this, 240 yards total offense per game, 28th in the NFL. Of course, he's lost Horace Copeland. Alvin Harper hadn't played well this year, so we've had a lot of things go wrong.
Now Doug Riesenberg appears to have moved a little bit early, so that'll be a penalty against the Buccaneers and start them off at 1st and 15 from their own 24-yard line. There's Foge Fazio. He endured his defense, allowing a 17-play, 67-yard drive. It ate up 8:07, but he got fortunate when Michael Hustad missed the 31-yard field goal to keep the Buccaneers off the board. Keeping to that theme, the Bucs have been inside the red zone 12 times this year, come away with only 2 touchdowns and 6 field goals. They have 85 yards of offense so far today, 67 coming on that last drive, and Dilfer going deep down the middle, has Alvin Harper up close to the 40-yard line. He's about a yard short of the first down. Dwayne Washington was there on the tackle. Now we have the 2-minute warning, so the Buccaneers will try to get on the board with their 2-minute offense when we return to Tampa in a moment.
That's a 2-minute warning.
Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Once again, the question, who is the only NFL player to make an interception and throw an interception in the same game? Clue, he's on the field. There he is. Tony Dungy did it against the Houston Oilers back in 1977. Of course, he quarterbacked with the Minnesota Golden Gophers in his collegiate days. And on second down and very short, the give goes to Jerry Ellison. Ellison picks up first down yardage out across the 40 to the 42. He was brought down by Dixon Edwards as the Buccaneers in their hurry-up mode with 3 receivers split out to the near side. And Dilfer looking to the near side. Has Courtney Hawkins, sheds a tackle. Hawkins trying to get toward the sidelines, but he is brought down at the 47-yard line by Alfred Jackson and Orlando Thomas. A pickup of 5 on the play.
Well, that's something Courtney Dawkins can do. You get the ball in his hand, he's a nice, quick receiver. He can make guys miss. They need a little sense of urgency right here. They need to get the ball down the field, try to get some points.
Dilfer in the hurry up, throws down the middle, has his man hit hard as Jerry Ellison by Dixon Edwards, but Ellison holds onto the ball. Another first down for Tampa Bay at the 45-yard line. Coming up on the Doctors Khakis halftime report, JB and Terry bring you all the scores and highlights from week number 7 of the NFL. Also, Chip Carey, Dave Winfield, and Steve Lyons preview tonight's NLCS game number 4. It's coming up on the Doctors Khakis halftime report. Jackie Harris on the reception there. Doesn't get much. He caught that one well behind the line of scrimmage. Give him a pickup of about 2 before Dixon Edwards brought him down. And now the Buccaneers take a timeout with 44 seconds to go. Their 2-minute march continues when we return. Hoping to make good if he gets in field goal range. Trent Dilfer looking to throw it, throws it deep down the field, and that one is incomplete and almost intercepted. Alfred Jackson was back there, and that one almost came right to him.
I think he felt that pressure coming from the backside. Dixon Edward, who I played with in Dallas, is just a great pass rusher. Great speed, get in the backfield very quickly. I think Trent felt him, and I think that altered his throw.
Fortunately for him.
Watch the pressure coming from the backside. Trent Dilfer. He may not see him, but he feels him, I promise you.
So 3rd down and 9. The ball at the Minnesota 44-yard line. Big play coming up with 38 seconds to go in the first half. And Dilfer back to throw again. Steps up in the pocket, guns it down the middle, and Alvin Harper has it go off his hands once again.
That right there, that's the story of Alvin Harper's season. Opportunity after opportunity thrown away. Here's Alvin Harper. Watch him right here. Come down the field. Makes the end cut. There's nobody there. The ball is right there. Man, you have got to make that play. You've got to make that play.
Trent Dilfer has taken his share of criticism for a very sluggish start this season, but the quarterback cannot be blamed on that one. And again, Alvin Harper with that injured right hand. Most athletes are not going to admit if something like that is really bothering them and affecting their ability to do their job. So maybe the decision might have to be made for him after his 3rd drop of the game. David Palmer, fair catches the punt. Vikings take over in a moment. Vikings regain possession at their own 9-yard line, and they'll be quite happy to take a knee and go into the halftime locker room with a 7-0 lead here over the Buccaneers, who have squandered a few opportunities in this ball game. It could be very close, much closer than 7-0 would indicate. And even though they are also well behind in total net yardage, the Buccaneers have to feel pretty decent being right in this game with the Central Division leaders at the half.
Well, in some respects they probably do, but they also feel bad. They had their opportunities to score with the missed field goal. Alvin Harper drop pass right there. That's almost a sure 3. So they're going in the locker room with nothing, but they're still playing hard and they're still in the ball game.
And this is very typical of the Buccaneers against the Vikings. Last few times these two teams have met, the Buccaneers managed to stay close, and the Vikings talked about that yesterday.
Well, I think both teams know each other very, very well. Tony Dungy's on the Tampa Bay sideline. He knows Minnesota as well as anybody. This is going to be a tight ball game. Both these teams, Tony Dungy wants to win so bad, and what better day than today?
All right, JB and Terry, scores and highlights. We'll look ahead to the NLCS coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report.
The Dockers halftime report, brought to you by Dockers Khakis. More looks than a halfback triple option. Hey, nice pants.
And welcome to the Dockers halftime. Along with Terry, I'm James Brown. Yes, indeed, Tony Dungy going against his old squad right now, trailing 7-0 to the Vikes. Michael Irvin returned to the Cowboys today. Glad to have him back.
After 2 incomplete passes Michael Irvin's way, Troy Aikman on this sideline route hooks up with Michael Irvin. So far, though, not much offense by the Cowboys. Excellent defense by the Cardinals. There's the score at half. Cowboys 3 over the Cardinals.
Irvin 4 catches, 46 yards. If you didn't know where that game was, certainly that's a giveaway.
There you go. Trick or treat. Halloween. Hello, world. There's the trick. Reversed by Terry Allen. Hands off to Leslie Shepard. Here's the treat. 32 yards later. Touchdown. Washington takes an early 10-6 lead. But back comes Curtis Martin with a big first half. Over right tackle. Breaks in. Gets into the end zone as the Redskins are losing to the Patriots 16-10.
How do you think Brian Cox feels $87,500 lighter?
Feels quick. Time him in the 40 and run a 4.2 today. But talk about quick. David Craig pumps, safety freezes. There's Curtis Conway on a fade route. Corner can't get there. Perfectly thrown 18-yard touchdown pass. Bears over my Saints 17-7.
Rams aren't finding anything to clown around about down in Carolina today.
You got to hold on to the ball. 9 fumbles in 3 games by starting rookie quarterback Tony Bank. You got to hang on to it. You got to protect it, or this is what happened. Kevin Green, 66-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Hey, World Wrestling Federation, as the Panthers go up by 14. Kerry Collins finds Mushin Muhammad. A hook route, simple hook route. 4 tackling by Keith Lyle. 54-yard touchdown reception. Panthers all over the Rams, 28-7.
As we move along the scoreboard, we find the Steelers up 3-0 over the Bengals. Jim Kelly threw a pick first pass. Dolphins lead it. Oilers by 10 over the Falcons. Jets trying to snap a 10-game losing streak. It's been narrowed. When we come back, a baseball preview.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers very much in the game as we get set to start the third quarter, trailing the Vikings 7-0. And for the Buccaneers, they may be lamenting some mistakes in the first half. Alvin Harper had his right hand injured earlier this week at practice. He worked out a little bit earlier today, and the right hand proved to be well enough for him to get into the starting lineup. But it has really betrayed him so far in this day. He's had a couple of big drops, Scott.
Well, it's not his friend right now, that's for sure. And maybe Tony Dungy is maybe thinking a little bit about making some kind of a decision here about getting somebody else in there.
Key drop here on their final drive of the first half. Had it right in his hands, right to his body as he's tried to cradle his last couple of catches with that injured right hand. We'll see how it works and see if Harper is in the starting lineup as we get ready to start the second half of play. Mitch Berger teeing it up to kick it deep to Nilo Sylvan, who's in the middle of the field. Sylvan averaging 22 yards a return with as long of 54 yards this year. This one's high and short, comes down to Sylvan at his 10. And Sylvan, big hole up the middle. Sylvan gets out across the 30 to the 34-yard line. 26 yards on that return. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting in very good field position at the 33-yard line.
Well, Tampa Bay hasn't been on fire by any stretch of the imagination, but they are one play away from tying this game up. So you look at that, they're not killing themselves. They're not turning the ball over. Trent Dilfer has thrown the ball fairly well, but the key about that is no interceptions for him today.
And the double tight end set is being started with by the Buccaneers, and Dilfer will put it upstairs. Going deep down the near side, looking for Courtney Hawkins, jump ball, and Corey Fuller knocked it away.
That is strictly a one-on-one, man-to-man coverage and throw, and that's all that is. They knew what coverage they were going to get. Here's Courtney Hawkins. Look at him now. That's one-on-one all the way. Throw it out there and let Courtney go get that ball. Little bit short. You just got to throw the deep ball better.
We have an injured Buccaneer down on the field. Reggie Brooks is a man down, appears to be in quite a bit of pain as the trainers look him over at about the 28-yard line. Back to see what the problem is with Reggie Brooks in a moment. Eric Clemens and Scott Case back in Tampa. Reggie Brooks left the field under his own power. Looks to be okay. As far as Alvin Harper, he is not in the game. He is on the sideline, standing at the Tampa 40-yard line. Has not played yet here in the second half. Dilfer throwing it quickly to the near side, has Courtney Hawkins, and Hawkins driven out of bounds hard by Corey Fuller. Picked up about 7 yards on the play, maybe 8. That'll leave a 3rd and short. And Brooks comes back into the ball game in the backfield. Good news for the Buccaneers.
With Harper out of the game, now you wonder, is the timing going to be right? Rob Thomas is in the ball game. Doesn't get as much practice time as Alvin Harper, so we'll see what happens with that.
Rob Thomas now comes out of the game as the Buccaneers with a double tight end set, and Courtney Hawkins, the lone receiver, split out wide to the left side. There's Harper as he looks on in his 3rd and short. Dilfer off the play fake. Looking deep, has Jackie Harris across the 50 to the 46-yard line. Perfect strike thrown there by Trent Dilfer. First down.
3rd and short, little play action pass, very nice. Here's Jackie Harris right here, faking the block, getting right down in the middle of things, and then coming out. Trent throws it right on the money. That's a nice play. 3rd down.
Brooks got a knock on the thigh, and that's what got him out of the game for a play or two before he returned to action.
They got to get that man right there the ball. Jackie Harris is the guy that can make a lot of plays.
He's a cause of major concern for the Vikings defense. And the give goes to Brooks, who spins off a couple tackles before he's met right at the line of scrimmage and brought down for no gain. Darryl Talley, Derek Alexander also in on the play.
Tell you what, this is one quick defense right here. You don't want to stretch it out on this defense because they're too fast. It's trying to find a hole. It's not there. Guys are flying everywhere. That defense is hungry right there.
Jeff Brady, the leading tackler there, was the first to meet Brooks in the backfield. Brooks spun off that tackle but met a couple more Vikings along the way. No gain on that one. So it'll be 2nd and 10. And Dilfer to put it upstairs. A quick hitter goes to Jackie Harris, and it's off his hands. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
E-Man, take a look at Tony Banks. Fumbled earlier, trying to make up for that. Bullet arm right to rookie Eddie Kennison. Rams had trailed 21-0. It's down 28-13 Carolina. Back to Eric Clemens and hard-hitting Scott Case.
All right, JB, thank you very much. Tampa Bay Buccaneers again trying to put a march together. They're 3 for 8 on 3rd down, and this is 3rd and long. 3rd and 10 for Trent Dilfer, who has 3 receivers in the game. 2 of them split out to the left.
Still no Alvin Harper.
And Dilfer coming down the middle, and that one almost intercepted, and then deflects off the hands of Rob Thomas. Harlan Barnett was there as a nickel in the secondary and almost had the Vikings' 14th interception of the year.
Harlan Barnett is the glue to this secondary, and I'm going to tell you, one of the finest young secondaries that's come in this league in a long, long time. All second, third year guys make a lot of big plays. Watch Harlan Barnett just sitting in the middle. Just reading Trent's eyes, all he's doing.
And that one right off the hands of Rob Thomas, who of course didn't expect to catch it after Barnett crossed in front of him. Barnhart's punt, fair caught. Back at the 13-yard line by David Palmer. The Vikings get their first possession of the second half when we come back to Tampa. Very pleasant sights and sounds of Tampa, Florida. The Buccaneer girls greeting you all. Back to Houlihan Stadium, where Warren Moon and the Vikings offense takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 12. Robert Smith, big hole. Smith getting to the corner and has all kinds of room. Smith with a man to beat. Finally taken out of bounds at the 30-yard line of Tampa Bay. Martin Mayhew saved a touchdown.
This is exactly the kind of play Robert Smith loves to see. A lot of open field. Use that great speed he's got. He was, as you said before, a sprinter in college. Man, what a big play. Look at him coming down here. John Lynch, he almost blew both knees out right there trying to tackle him.
Robert Smith, world-class sprinter out of Ohio State. Part of their 1993 4x400-meter relay team showed the great speed there, picking up 57 yards. Puts the Vikings in great shape at the 31-yard line of Tampa, and Moon sets up the screen to Ant Lee, and Ant Lee brought down from behind. Nice play. Brad Culpepper chased him down. Brad Culpepper with his 5th tackle of the game, and there's Robert Smith already surpassing last year's total, which was his career best at 632 yards. With 2 long runs, one of them of 26 yards and a touchdown late in the first quarter. He now has 688 on the season. Well on his way to 1,000 if he stays healthy.
We still have a half a season left.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 7. Moon looking downfield again, dumps it off to Ant Lee. Nice spin move. Does he get away? He does. But a host of Buccaneers are there to bring him down hard.
Man, great.
Reagan Upshaw led the way.
Great play by Derek Brooks. I'll tell you what, not very many guys in this league can tackle Ant Lee one-on-one. He holds him up long enough to let his friends come. Watch this. Derek Brooks. Watch the guys come. Swarming, 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 swarming everywhere. Blow him up.
At least 5 to 6 guys attack the ball carrier. And that's the way Tony Dungy likes it on the defensive side of the football for his team. Sets up a 3rd down and 4. Pretty big play here for the Buccaneers defense. 3rd and 5 for Warren Moon and the Vikings. And Warren didn't like something he saw there. Used one of the Vikings' 3 second-half timeouts. He'll go to the sideline and talk it over. Brian Billick and Coach Dennis Green back to Tampa for more action in just a moment. Back to Tampa, where Brian Billick, the offensive coordinator here for the Minnesota Vikings, has seen his team get off to another slow start. But he expects them fully to come around. They ripped off 5,938 yards of total offense last season. It's a new franchise mark for the Vikings. And Warren Moon trying to take advantage here, gets it off there on the quick slant, but knocked away from Chris Carter. Donnie Abraham coming up with a big play again.
Oh, that's a nice play, especially by a rookie. You rarely will see a guy, especially on Jake Reed. Jake Reed's such a physical, big, wide receiver. Watch right here. Watch Donnie Abraham. He's all over him. Jake tries to push off a little bit and use that strength. Donnie Abraham, great play.
So that'll set up 4th down. And Scott Sisson will attempt the field goal from 44 yards out. 1 for 2 from this distance this season. It is up, but he leaves it wide right. So Scott Sisson cannot convert after the big 57-yard run by Robert Smith put him in great shape. The Vikings held off the scoreboard, and amazingly, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still down by only 7.
They dodged another bullet. Big run from Robert Smith. They dodge another bullet. Unbelievable. They're still in the ballgame. They haven't done anything on offense to speak of. They've had a couple drops that could have helped them maybe score some points, missed field goal. They're still in this ballgame. One play, they're still in the game.
And they have some very good field position out at the 35-yard line. Coming up later today on Fox, at the movies, Tuesday rather, at the movies, the first invaders from outer space, the Coneheads, coming up Tuesday at 8, 7 Central Time, right here on Fox. On first down, Reggie Brooks met in the backfield, spins off Derek Alexander's tackle, and absolutely nowhere to go.
You can't do that, Reggie Brooks. Reggie Brooks cannot do that. Derek Alexander with great penetration comes back, get in the backfield before Reggie hardly even had the ball. These guys are just too quick. You cannot change direction of the field on the Minnesota Vikings.
Brooks loses 5 yards on the play, and it'll set up 2nd and long for Trent Dilfer in the Tampa Bay offense. Rob Thomas split out to the near side. 2 receivers split to the far side. And Trent Dilfer to put it upstairs. Setting up the screen to Jerry Ellison. He's got blockers in front. Ellison across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Well-conceived play there, as they are only 3 yards short of a first down. Dixon Edwards saved an even bigger play.
I tell you, on the long yardage plays, I think Mike Shula feels a little better with running a play like this. Keep Trent in the pocket, nice easy throw. Let Ellison run the ball instead of making Trent make a great throw or a great decision downfield.
Sets up 3rd down and call it 4 yards to go for the Buccaneers. With a big positive pickup of 11 on that 2nd down screen pass. Dilfer comes near side, has his man. Rob Thomas with the completion. Driven out by Corey Fuller, but it is a first down as the Buccaneers cross into Vikings territory at the Minnesota 48.
Rob Thomas is the guy that we watched the other day in practice and kept saying what great routes this guy runs. Here he is right here on Corey Fuller. Watch him come down. Runs a lot like Steve Largent, if you've ever heard of him. Have you heard of him, Eric?
I think so.
Yes, yes. He runs great routes. Great routes.
Has good hands as well. 5'11", 170-pounder in his 8th year out of Oregon State. It's the big first down catch, and now off the play fake. Dilfer fires it across to Jackie Harris on the near side. Harris brought down by Corey Fuller and Dixon Edwards, but I believe it's another first down for Tampa Bay.
Jackie Harris, we've been talking about him all day. He's a guy that has to make some big plays. Here he is right here, tight end. Come down the field and just kind of sit in a little hole there and wait. Trent's just nice pocket. Everything's nice right there. They just keep doing that, they'll be fine. They've got a great drive going right here. Just keep it going.
Now the Buccaneers coming into the double tight end set. Dave Moore joins Jackie Harris in the lineup. 2 receivers are split out to the left, and the lone setback is Michael Allstott. And the give to Allstott. And Allstott, nifty footwork, gets down to close to the 30-yard line before a Viking touches him. Call it a pickup of 8 yards. We'll set up 2nd and 2.
Well, right now, Trent Dilfer is the story of this game. No interceptions so far. Boy, he's thrown 10 all year, none today. That's why Tampa Bay's in the ballgame right now.
Good numbers, 14 of 25 for 121 yards. He'd just love to pick up his 2nd touchdown pass of the season. And the Buccaneers march continues on 2nd and 4. Vikings blitzing, picked up well. Dilfer going for it all. Touchdown!
Look at Trent. Look at Trent. Is he happy? Is he a happy man? That's got to make him feel good.
Rob Thomas on the receiving end of that one, and the Buccaneers finally break onto the scoreboard.
Still no smile by Trent yet, though. Rob Thomas is smiling down there.
2 big catches for him on that scoring drive, and now Michael Hustad is going to attempt to tie it up with the extra point. And that one is true. So, like lightning, Trent Dilfer to Rob Thomas for the touchdown, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have tied it here at Houlihan Stadium against the Vikings.
Look at the offensive line here, giving Trent Dilfer plenty of time. He's just sitting back there. He's got all day. Nice. The thing I like about it, he puts a little air under the ball. He's not trying to zip it in there. Let Rob Thomas run under it.
And Michael Hustad will kick it deep to Amp Lee and David Palmer. And this one's high, coming down on the far side to Amp Lee at his 5. And Lee dances out across the 20 before a host of Buccaneers bring him down at the 22-yard line.
Let's watch it from a different angle. Rob Thomas running right down the field. Look at Dwayne Washington. He's guessing. He guessed it was an in route. Rob Thomas gave him just a little bit of an inclination. It was going in there and took it deep. Just a nice ball, nice touchdown. That's exactly what they needed to get back in the game.
Vikings, meanwhile, have now been outscored 50-10 in the 3rd quarter this year. So the 3rd quarter has not been very kind in terms of production for the Minnesota Vikings. Warren Moon trying to do something about that with just over 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter in a 7-7 ball game. And Moon to put it upstairs, plenty of time going deep far side, has Jake Reed open, and the catch is complete. It is good. The ball being marked now at the 47-yard line. Melvin Johnson was back deep, but Jake Reed was open on the play, and Warren Moon found him.
Great pressure up the middle by Warren Sapp. Reagan Upshaw was also coming. Here's Warren Sapp right here. Watch him one-on-one, throw the guy out. Great quickness. Look at him crawling, digging, fighting, whatever he can do to get to Warren Moon.
Sapp grabs the legs of the veteran Warren Moon to complete the sack, and now Scott Sisson will attempt his 2nd field goal of the quarter. This one is good from 32 yards out, so the Vikings back on top. They answer the Tampa Bay touchdown with a field goal and recapture a 10-7 lead late in the 3rd. Back at Tampa, where the Vikings march it down to take a 10-7 lead on the field goal by Scott Sisson. 3:25 to go in the quarter, and Scott Case, we have had a dandy. Nilo Sylvan waiting back deep to receive the kickoff of Mitch Berger. As Tampa Bay gets set to take over on offense, but the wind swirls up and blows it off the tee again. Berger may need some help. Harlan Barnett's going to come over and volunteer. Blows off again, so he's definitely going to have Barnett hold it this time. But Buccaneers offense may for once be actually anxious to get back on the field. They have to feel very good after marching smartly down the field for that last touchdown.
Well, they have to feel much better about themselves. They feel like they're in a ball game. Last game against Detroit, they were blown out early. The game was over early. This game, they've got a chance to win, and they want nothing more than to win this game against Minnesota for Tony Dungy.
So Harlan Barnett. No, not Harlan Barnett now. Harlan comes back as the flyer on the near side on the kick team. But Mitch Berger does indeed have a holder. And he gets this one away. Coming to the near side, Nilo Sylvan lets it bounce in the end zone, and it bounces out of the end zone where it'll be ruled a touchback. Buccaneers will take over 1st and 10 on their 20. This game summary brought to you by Budweiser and Robert Smith, the big star on the ground for the Vikings, but Buccaneers have plenty to be happy about.
Well, Robert Smith is having a great day, that's for sure. Look at this right here. Tampa Bay, first touchdown in 9 quarters. I know Trent Dilfer hopes it's not that long again.
get one. He hopes to get one right now. No interceptions so far today for Dilfer. Had a couple of near misses, but the Vikings could not hold on to the football. And Trent Dilfer enjoying a good day so far. It would be a lot better if he could march his team down the field once again here late in the third quarter. As Carl Williams came in motion to the near side, and Dilfer was looking for the quick screen to his tight end Jackie Harris, but he was under some pressure. Fernando Smith was right in his face.
Same play they ran last time, just not as well. At least we're not Jets fans.
Trent Dilfer, of course, has been ripped here by fans, media alike. And there's his response to the criticism. Might as well write Goodyear all over my skin because my skin is as thick as tiles. Give to Reggie Brooks, and Reggie Brooks spins forward. We have a couple of flags down at the end of the play. Brooks spins forward for close to 5 yards, and let's see what the officials say.
A couple of flags. 17 of them.
Personal foul against the Vikings.
Personal foul. Number 98 on the defense. Face mask, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Esra Tuaolo grabbing the face mask, and the big penalty against the Vikings of 15 yards puts it to the 39-yard line and gives the Buccaneers a fresh set of downs.
Well, this is the first time we've called his name today, but oh, I loved it. I loved it. Congratulations to John Blake, looking for his first win there. I hope he does well.
The Buccaneers, two receivers split to the near side. First and 10, the draw to Allstott. Allstott some room, trying to get to the nearest corner, and gets it down to about the 12-yard line before Corey Fuller brought him down. This is only the second game in which the Minnesota Vikings have had a lead going into the fourth quarter.
Well, let me tell you, they're leading this game so we can cross these two out right here. But look at this. They've outscored their opponents 45-9, a +4 turnover ratio, and only given up 1.5 yards per play. That's why they've won the close games.
And Corey Fuller is the injured Viking on the field, looking to be helped off by the Viking trainers. He's had some fluid buildup on a knee that he's had some problems with all season long, but he's played through it. Apparently he needs some help to get off the field here. Alfred Jackson will likely come on as his replacement.
Here he is right here, Corey Fuller. Let's see what happens. I don't see too much right there, but he's needing some help getting off the field.
Might have had the 250 pounds of Allstott kind of come down on that knee. Allstott, a big stocky guy. Buccaneers in the red zone coming into the game. 2 of 11, last in the NFL. Only 2 touchdowns with 2 turnovers, one of them in their last game against the Lions, a big one. The 98-yard interception return by Blades. On 2nd and 9, 2 receivers split to the near side. Dilfer off the play fake, looking for Allstott, has him, and Allstott inside the 3. He got it into the end zone, touchdown. What an effort by Mike Allstott.
Oh my, can you believe that? Unbelievable.
Well, we have a flag down at the 22-yard line. So let's see what the officials say about this one. Buccaneers kicking team is on the field.
Personal foul. Number 92, roughing the quarterback. 15-yard penalty on the kickoff. Touchdown's good.
What a great effort by Mike Allstott. Man. Watch him just come out to the flat right here, working his way through the line. This is where it all happens right here. Robert Griffith comes up. Jeff Brady comes up. He's dragging. Oh, man, that's great.
What an effort as he placed it, broke the plane inside the pylon in the far corner, and the Buccaneers score once again to take the lead. And this crowd is alive thanks to that man, Mike Allstott, on the touchdown reception. Minnesota gets it back when we return. Tony Dungy quite happy with the results. Mike Allstott, 12-yard touchdown reception. And Dennis Green hoping his offense can get things going with the personal foul penalty on the Dilfer touchdown pass. Hustad kicked it off from his 45 well out of the end zone. So the Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
How about Mike Allstott here? All this is want to. He wants to get in that touchdown more than Jeff Brady wants to tackle him. Maybe that's why Tony Dungy's so high on this young man. Griffith comes up, tries to put a lick on him, doesn't even make a dent. Jeff Brady goes for a little ride. Man, that's just a great effort.
And John Randall, the illegal hit there.
That's what we call a message. That's a message. You don't even have to say anything.
Don't get too happy to the kid, Trent Dilfer. His 2 touchdowns today, ties a career high. He last threw 2 touchdown passes back on September 3rd of '95 in Philadelphia in week 1 of the season. Now Robert Smith stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. Chidi Ahanotu was there.
Boy, they're playing with some intensity now. You feel it in the stadium, both offensively and defensively. Tampa Bay's a different team right now.
And some tempers flaring down there. Good news for the Vikings. Corey Fuller does not have a knee problem. He was suffering from some cramps down on the field. He is expected to return to the game. 2nd down and 10 as Robert Smith picked up nothing on that carry. And on the draw, Smith stacked up again. Marcus Jones coming in on that hit. And the Buccaneers defense is fired up.
This game is so much mental. Right now, Tampa Bay believes that they can win the football game, and they're playing like it. They're not playing like they're 0-5. They're playing like a leading team in the National Football League.
Monty Kiffin, the defensive
There's
coordinator.
Monty Kiffin right there, defensive coordinator. Oh, no, sorry, there he is, there he is.
He's the guy without the hat. And the intensity is at full blast right now with this crowd on 3rd and long for the Vikings. Moon looking deep, looking for Ismail, intercepted. Intercepted by Melvin Johnson. Johnson has plenty of room, flag down. Johnson gets down to the 20, but we have a flag back at the 34. Might have been some illegal blocking going on the return, but the Buccaneers have a big turnover. 2 flags down on the play.
Old Mo has entered the stadium.
Warren Sapp, after the interception, he says, hey, I'm a blocker now. We instantly become offense. I blocked the quarterback. That's what his claim is. Todd Stussy was after him after that play, and Big Warren, all 305 pounds of them, got out of the way.
I promise you those offensive linemen turn around and see that. All 5 of them are coming after him.
Wasn't necessarily a dirty hit against Warren Moon. Nice, friendly, 2-handed shove around the chest area.
We've got 2 fouls on the intercepting team. Personal foul on number 98. Personal foul, low block, 54.
So a double foul. The interception will stand. Melvin Johnson getting the pick as Warren Moon was looking deep down the near side.
Here's Melvin Johnson right there, reading Warren's eyes. Going to the ball, a little bit of pressure on Warren, but just not a good ball. Nice interception, turn around. Oh, Mo, I'm telling you, momentum has come into the stadium here in Tampa.
Is accepted, 15 yards. First down, Tampa Bay.
Johnson barely got a foot grab there, or he might have gone all the way.
He's well covered. Just a nice, that's what you teach defensive backs. Go up and get the ball at the highest point. Don't let the guy out-jump you for the ball. Melvin Johnson, great job.
So finally, we talked about it in the opening of the show. We talked about it, them needing to come up with some interceptions and some turnovers against Warren Moon, and they do just that. They get it back at the Minnesota 48-yard line on 1st and 10. The Vikings blitzing. and Dilfer goes down.
This is only the second interception this year for the secondary. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. We're in the 7th game of the season. Melvin Johnson with the second interception by the secondary. That's the kind of plays that Tampa has to make, and that's a Tony Dungy football right there.
Dixon Edwards coming up on the blitz and eventually getting the sack of Trent Dilfer. And Alvin Harper returns to the game to the boos of the home crowd. Harper with at least 2 drops in the first half. Is split out to the near side. Dilfer to put it upstairs. Goes far side, has his man on the diving catch, and that was Courtney Hawkins. And Hawkins gets it down to about the original line of scrimmage, just short of the original line of scrimmage, so that'll leave it 3rd down and 10 for Trent Dilfer and company.
I see a different Trent Dilfer today. There's no doubt about it. Usually over here we have INT, interceptions, with about maybe 4 or 5, something like that. 0 today, nothing.
And on 3rd down. 3rd down and 14, call it. Dilfer going deep near side. Looking for Alvin Harper, and the flag is down. Apparently, Dwayne Washington made too much contact on the near side at the 15.
Well, they were battling going down the field. There's no doubt about that. There is a lot of hand checking that goes on a route like that. So
pass interference. Number 20
here
on the
he is, right
defense.
down here. Dwayne
First
Washington,
down, Tampa
Alvin
Bay.
Harper. Boy, I don't know. I don't know. When Dwayne Washington looks back for the ball, pretty much fair game after that.
Dwayne Washington, 5'11", 186 out of North Carolina State. Alvin Harper, 6'3 and a half and 220 out of Tennessee. Big advantage. Big advantage for Harper going up one-on-one against the shorter Washington. And the Buccaneers have it in great shape at the Minnesota 15. And Reggie Brooks loses his footing and is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of maybe a half yard on the play. That'll set up 2nd and long.
The Bucs should stay within themselves right now. Don't put Trent Dilfer in a situation where he can make a mistake. They're leading the ball game right now. 10 minutes left in the game. They're up by 4. You punch it in here, that puts some serious pressure on the Minnesota Vikings.
Around this area on their last possession, they found Mike Allstott out of the backfield. And Allstott battled his way in for the touchdown to give Tampa Bay the 14-10 advantage. Off the play fake. Dilfer over the middle has his man. And Courtney Hawkins gets down to the 11. So a short pickup on 2nd down. That'll leave it 3rd down and 6.
Look at Trent Dilfer here. John Randall, when John Randall's coming at you, you have to know it. A man that size, he took quite a hit right there. Stood up, picked his socks up. Let's go back to the huddle and do it again.
He is a big guy at 6'4", 233. And he's taken his share of licks today. Fernando Smith was also in on that one. The Buccaneers, 6 of 12, 50% on 3rd downs in the game against the Vikings. They have 4 receivers. Dilfer, big 3rd down, over the middle, has his man, touchdown. Rob Thomas is 2nd of the day.
Oh, unbelievable. This looks like a totally different team. Look at Trent Dilfer, Rob Thomas, those guys, they're so happy right now. Go over the sideline, this is what football is all about. We're going to go over the sideline and talk to each other about how great this game is. Hey, they're playing like a different football team. Here you go. Here's Rob Thomas. He just come down. It looks like that's a mistake. That's a coverage mistake right there. He's just too wide open. Coverage mistake.
So Michael Hustad in to attempt his 3rd extra point of the afternoon and give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers an 11-point advantage. It's good. And the Buccaneers up 21-10 with 9:19 to go in the contest. The Vikings get it back to try to get back in it when we return to Tampa in a moment.
Let's watch Trent Dilfer right here. Nice and calm and collected in the pocket. Looks around. The thing I like about it, yes, there was a mistake in the secondary right there of coverage breakdown, but he found the guy. That's what's important.
Husted putting it up deep, and Ismail takes it 4 yards deep into the end zone where he'll down the football. Minnesota will take over at its own 20-yard line in desperate need of putting something together. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, 14 points in the fourth quarter today. 15 is the most points they've scored in any quarter this year.
Now let's watch this. Here's Rob Thomas right here, coming down the field. Now whether Dwayne Washington or whether Dixon Edwards has to fall off, I don't know. But somebody made a mistake. But I really like Trent staying in there and finding that mistake.
On first down and 10, Warren Moon off the play fake, looking deep down the middle, has his man, Jake Reed. And Jake Reed hit hard close to the 40-yard line. Call it a pickup of 19 on the play for Warren Moon. Melvin Johnson brought him down. Warren Moon and his offense needing to strike quickly here inside of 9 minutes to go in the contest, trailing the Buccaneers by 11.
Tampa may be feeling good right now, but that man with the number 1 on his back, and there's no doubt what he can do. He can bring it back. There's no doubt about that.
First and 10 from the 39-yard line of Minnesota, and Moon to put it upstairs again. Dumps it out of the backfield, has Amp Lee. Amp Lee hit hard from behind. Chidi Ahanatu gave him a nice shot, but the momentum carried Amp Lee up close to first down yardage. I believe he has another first down for the Vikings.
Boy, as a former defensive player, you love to see those big guys coming out on a pass and trying to knock the living tar out of a wide receiver like that. That's just pure hustle. That's all that is.
So second consecutive first down and as many plays for the Vikings on this drive. First and 10, the ball at midfield to give to Robert Smith. Smith hit hard. John Lynch coming up from the strong safety position along with Warren Sapp and Lonnie Marks making the stop there. Coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues when the Detroit Lions battle the Raiders and the Eagles take on the Giants in a tough NFC East matchup. Exciting NFL action is coming up next right here on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Tell you what, Tampa Bay's walking around with a little swagger in their walk, feeling pretty good right now.
7 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Plenty of time for Warren Moon to bring this team back. He's done it so many times. And the Vikings in a customary position, trailing in the fourth quarter. Moon gets his tight end, Andrew Jordan, out to the far side. That's complete. Derek Brooks drove him out of bounds. That'll leave it third down and about 4 yards to go. Closer to 5 for a first down for Minnesota.
Derek, look at this right here. 13 fourth quarter comebacks under Dennis Green. Now that says something about this man right here.
The Buccaneers coming out into their nickel package on defense. Keep third down and 5 for Warren Moon and the Vikings. Blitz is on. Moon has to get rid of it. Throws it up for grabs. It is caught. Qadry Ismail makes the catch. And Ismail goes down inside the 30. He is running off the field. He is injured on the play. It looks like he suffered some kind of injury to his face. But a key first down for the Vikings as Warren Moon got it away in time.
Right here is Qadry. Watch this. This is a jump ball. We're getting pressure from the outside. Moon has a little pressure on him. It's a jump ball. Donnie Abraham's in front of him. Qadry just out jumps him for the ball.
And he is hit hard by Melvin Johnson. Lost the football but recovered it. On first down, Robert Smith cutting up the middle. Spins inside the 25 to the 23-yard line.
Ismail's checking to see if he's got all his teeth.
He's got, it looks like, at least a split lower lip after taking the vicious shot from Melvin Johnson. Trying to get some more yards on the big third down completion. Meanwhile, Robert Smith picked up close to 5 yards on that first down carry. And the Vikings in business at the 23-yard line of Tampa Bay. Robert Smith again, met in the backfield. Lonnie Martz and Warren Sapp.
Huge play by Lonnie Martz. Now this puts him in a 3rd and long situation. Tony has the option. Do we come after him? Do we sit back in a zone? Now Warren has no idea what's coming.
Big loss on that play.
Yeah, just come up the field. That was an easy play for Lonnie Martz. That was a breakdown in the blocking.
Another key 3rd down for the Tampa Bay defense. And if you're a Viking fan, for the Viking offense, 3rd and 10. Flags down. Warren Moon may have a free play. And he has a connection down the field. He hits Jake Reed. Jake Reed is brought down by John Lynch. And it looked like Warren Sapp jumped offside, but the Vikings, who pick up good yardage on that play, may decline the penalty.
Well, it didn't matter the way it turned out because they completed the ball anyway. But if that would have been incomplete and Warren Sapp would have jumped offside, Tony Dungy probably would have pulled the rest of his hair out.
Number 99 under defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play, 1st down, Minnesota.
Warren's a big motor guy, and I know he wanted to make a big play right there. You just can't get too excited. Play within yourself.
On 1st and 10, this crowd excited, urging their defense on as we approach 4 minutes to go in the ball game. They give to Robert Smith. Smith trying to find some room as he cuts it back up the field at around the 15. Charles Dimry brought him down. Smith gets it inside the 15 to the 13.
They have to keep him out of the end zone right here. 3 points is going to do the Vikings not much good. If they did go for 3, they'd have to come down, score a touchdown, go for the 2-point. But right now they're looking to punch it in.
Vikings with 3 receivers. 2 of them split to the right side for Warren Moon. David Palmer is the man in motion, and Moon pump fakes it, looks to the far side, throws it up for grabs. Almost intercepted by Charles Dimry, who had excellent coverage against Jake Reed.
That's a set play from the snap right there. Warren looked off to the right. He was coming back left all the way. Watch Charles Dimry. Staying inside, corner route. Charles just read that like a book. Very nice play.
Jake Reed, one of the more physical receivers in the NFL, 6'3", 216 pounds. Going against Charles Dimry, 6 feet, barely 170. 3rd down, a big one. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings at the 13. Again, they have 3 wide receivers. Blitz is on for Moon. He has to get rid of it, and it is incomplete. Tyrone Leggett came off the corner. Chidi Ahanatu was also there, and Warren Moon had to get rid of it fast.
I'll tell you what, Tony Dungy found something he liked right here. Watch this. He found something he liked. This is about the 3rd or 4th time they've run this, been successful every time. The thing I like about it, he's coming from Warren Moon's face. Warren sees him all the way. He knows he's coming. He knows he doesn't have much time.
So Scott Sisson will attempt the field goal from 33 yards out. And he gets it inside the right upright. It is good. And Scott Sisson converts on his 2nd field goal of the day. Still, the Vikings trail it by 8. They'll be kicking it to Tampa big time. Vikings converting a 12-play, 66-yard, 5-minute, 41-second march with a 32-yard field goal by Scott Sisson. And now they trail by 8 as Mitch Berger kicks a low line drive kick. Bounces to Nilo Sylvan, who fields it inside his 5. And Sylvan met hard by Pete Bersic at the 20-yard line, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will take over when we return to Houlihan Stadium, where it's not so ugly, in just a moment. Qadri Ismail of the Vikings cut inside the mouth, and he's lucky that's all he's got. Let's hear how it happened.
Out.
Ouch.
Well, two vicious shots, one by Melvin Johnson, the other by Hardy Nickerson. And here's a big drive for the Buccaneers here. A couple of first downs could salt it away, but they don't get off to a good start as Reggie Brooks hit by Darryl Talley behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 1 on the play.
Tampa doesn't need to panic right here. The game is in hand. Just work on getting a first down. That's their biggest objective right now. Just get a first down and worry about the next thing.
Trent Dilfer having a whale of a day, by far the best day of his career. And Tony Dungy, what a mark it would be for his career to get his first victory against his former employers, Dennis Green and the Central leading Minnesota Vikings, who came in with a 5-1 mark. On second down, the give to Brooks right up the middle, and Brooks gets out across the 20 to the 23. That'll set up a key 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 7 for Dilfer and company.
Now this is interesting. What does Mike Shula do? Does he put the ball in Trent Dilfer's hand? What if he makes a mistake? Do you run the ball and try to let your defense win the game? Big time. Here's Mike Shula right now. He's thinking, he's talking, trying to figure out what to do.
And the Vikings are talking things over as well. They take another timeout, their second of the half. And they got to call a 7-yard or more play for Trent Dilfer, who's for the most part been quite on target today. He's been accurate for most of his passes, even the ones deep downfield where he's had problems earlier this season.
I'll tell you what, Trent has really grown up today. I think probably right now Mike Shula's sitting up there thinking he's had a great day. Do we go ahead and try to ice the game right now? Boy, that's a tough call because his past history has not been good, Trent Dilfer. So, you know, do you take a chance and maybe throw the interception here?
Vikings with only 1 timeout remaining. Dennis Green and company smartly will get the 2-minute warning. So, in effect, they'll have 2 stoppages of play before this one ends, at least 2. And the Buccaneers over 50% so far today on 3rd down. They need another conversion here on 3rd and 7. Vikings showing blitz, and they're coming. Picked up well. Dilfer gets it to the near side and throws that one away as Dave Moore was double covered by Orlando Thomas and Dwayne Washington.
Boy, I have a lot of trouble with that call right there. I really do. I mean, you got all these guys, these threats, Jackie Harris, all these guys, and they throw it to Dave Moore. He's double covered in the flat. You know, I don't understand that.
Now with about, well, over 2 minutes to go, the Buccaneers are going to turn things over to the hands of their defense. In the meantime, they've got to keep this guy, David Palmer, from returning one big. He's averaging 19 yards per return coming into the day, but Barnhart gets this one high and brought down. Tyrone Leggett with the tackle there, and David Palmer has been a non-factor returning punt so far today. Coming up next, our Fox Sunday NFL doubleheader continues when the Lions battle the Raiders and the Eagles take on the Giants in an NFC East matchup. Exciting NFL action coming up right here on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area, and we have a pretty exciting one ourselves here in Tampa. Buccaneers threatening to get their first victory of the year. They're dancing and smiling right now, but I got news for you. Warren Moon has the football, and he is always dangerous at the helm for the Minnesota Vikings. On 1st and 10, the nose of the football on the 30-yard line. Fumble the football. Who has it? Tampa Bay recovers. Chidi Ahanatu again with the big hit. And he recovered it. Warren Sapp got the first hit on him. Ahanatu recovered.
How about Warren Sapp? Now that's what I'm talking about, a big play. You get a first-round guy like that, had some questions coming out of college. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been as big a defensive player as there's been in this league right now. He's making big plays, and that's the biggest of his career right there.
Came into this game with no sacks, but Tony
Dungy coming right here. Hits Warren's arm. The ball's on the ground. Man, that's a big play.
Warren Sapp coming on. Had a couple of sacks in each of his last 2 games.
The guy he's going against is about 350 pounds right there, Corey Stringer.
Warren Sapp causing the fumble, and Chidi Ahanatu, who came into the game with no sacks, has had a very big day. A big sack earlier in the game, the fumble recovery there, and now the Buccaneers, as we're one play away from the 2-minute warning. Dungy signaling for a timeout, doesn't get it. The give goes to Brooks, who spins out tackles, gets it down to the 20-yard line. And that's where we'll get the 2-minute warning, with the Buccaneers simply trying to hold on to it and salt away their first victory of 1996.
I want you to watch Warren Sapp. Here he is right here. Getting double teamed. Corey Stringer, 350 pounds. John Jarek has a hand on him too. That's just pure want to. That's a guy that wants to get in there and make a big play. Man, I bet that's the biggest of his career. Got to be.
For the third straight game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has recorded 3 sacks. And thanks to that man, they could salt away their first victory of 1996. Michael Allstott rumbling toward first down yardage. He gets it down to about the 16-yard line. You see the Vikings have only one precious timeout remaining.
Mike Allstott's a guy that you love to have in this situation. Just turn around and hand it off to the big guy and let him get 3 or 4 yards at a time and run the clock off.
The Vikings, I believe, have used their final timeout of the day as the officials go over to check things over with Dennis Green.
Well, you could tell talking to Denny Green yesterday that he had some concerns about this football team that he was fixing to play. He knew they weren't going to come in and just roll over Tampa Bay. It's never been that kind of series. He was really concerned, and you could tell on his face when we talked to him that he was very concerned about it. What a day for Tony Dungy, huh?
Dennis Green also took very much pride in the fact that the Minnesota Vikings under his tenure have never lost going into or coming out of a bye week, and that mark in jeopardy of falling this afternoon here at Houlihan Stadium.
They get 2 yards, they're fixing to lose their first one going in.
And Mike Allstott, great effort, will not get it. He was met in the backfield, and thanks to sheer determination, got it to the original line of scrimmage. And now the Buccaneers will let as much time run off that clock as possible before they may attempt the field goal with Michael Husted. What do you do here? You attempt a field goal?
You've got to kick the field goal here. You've got to. You absolutely have to kick the field goal to get it out of range. Then the game is over. The game is over if you go ahead and kick the field goal.
Now we have an injured Viking on the field as Michael Husted looks to see it's Fernando Smith. Smith suffered a neck stinger last week, had an MRI earlier this week with the problem, but was well enough to play. And it looks like he's favoring the left shoulder again as he lay prone. And if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hold on to salt away this victory, it would be the first for the Buccaneers after the bye week. And here's Smith, the first one to hit Allstott in the backfield, trying to hang on.
Well, that's 350 pounds right there running right at you. Fernando Smith threw his head in there to try to tackle Mike Allstott. You can see what happened. It stung him.
Fernando Smith walking off the field under his own power, and now on 4th down and 3. I do not see Michael Husted on the field. In fact, he's standing to the left of Tony Dungy and company on your screen. There he is, right there, as Tony Dungy deciding to go for it on 4th down.
The only reason I don't believe they would go for it, maybe Tony thinks that a blocked field goal could get you beat right now. You know, they could tie the game on one play with a blocked field goal, but boy, from this close, I think you got to go ahead and let him try, and let's ice the game.
And you leave Warren Moon probably about a minute and 15 seconds, a minute 20 seconds or so to work with no timeouts, mind you. But Warren Moon has been a master at every aspect of the passing game for his entire 19-year career.
That's plenty of time for Warren Moon to get it down the field.
So the Buccaneers leading by 8, 21-13. Trent Dilfer, a career day so far for Tony Dungy, seeking his first win as an NFL head coach.
And there's a man right there that got a little bit of a smile maybe on his face, but I'm going to tell you, he's had a great day so far.
Guilford just watching the clock tick down.
That's got to make him feel good. Just got his arms crossed out in the middle of the field, watching that clock run, knowing you got your first win of the season. These guys are really behind Tony Dungy. I'm going to tell you, this is a really sweet win for him.
He's going to let it run all the way down until probably 1 second is left on the play clock. Burn a timeout and perhaps then bring on the field goal team. Husted coming onto the field to try to salt it away for Tampa when we come back. Plenty more exciting football ahead on our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Game 2, the Eagles and Giants, or the Lions and Raiders. Check your local listings. That's coming up next right here on Fox. Big field goal attempt here. Michael Husted from 35 yards to ice it for Tampa Bay. And the 37,000 plus here at Houlihan Stadium have plenty to celebrate. Tampa Bay leading by 11 with just 43 seconds to go.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the storyline of this game is two things. Trent Dilfer, no turnovers for him today. The defense making big play after big play and keeping him out of the end zone. This isn't a team that we've seen in the past. 0-5, they haven't played very well. This is a complete different team today. This may turn the Tampa Bay Bucs around.
Career day for that man, Trent Dilfer, 27 of 48, 312 yards. The only 300-yard passing game of Dilfer's career. That was at Green Bay in 1995. I'm sorry. Today, 3 touchdowns and 218 yards passing on 22 of 35. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Minnesota Vikings, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the National Football League is strictly prohibited. And there's your special teams leader, Kenny Gant, getting the crowd into it. Many of the fans here at Houlihan Stadium heading for the exits. How often have they been able to do that?
They may just sit here and enjoy this for a while.
They just might. And Husted will kick it away deep. And it comes down to David Palmer. Palmer gets it across the 20 to the 23. 38 seconds to go, and remember, the Vikings have no timeouts left.
Well, that's the key right there. They're in dire straits right now. No timeouts. Now, Warren Moon can take him down the field, but he's got to have some help with the clock. That field goal iced it.
Down by 11 with 38 seconds left. They'd need a field goal, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion, or, of course, a couple touchdowns. Highly unlikely. Trips right for Warren Moon in the offense. He's got to get it deep downfield. He throws underneath, and this is hit on Chris Walsh by Donnie Abraham. Whoa!
Hello! What a hit by Donnie Abraham. As a former defensive back, I almost jumped out of the booth right there on that. That was nice.
Had him set up nicely for the big hit. Moon goes to the far side this time, and it's incomplete. As he was looking for David Palmer on the far side of the field.
Let's have another look at that, please. Here we go. Just a nice pass out there. Turn around. Woo! Man, that's nice. Look over here. Look at all the guys jumping all around the place.
13 seconds to go for Moon, who has it on third down at his own 32. Moon going down the far side and has a completion. Chris Walsh makes the catch. Driven out of bounds by Charles Dimry. Only 6 seconds to go in the game.
Poor Chris Walsh. He's only been in one series. He may not finish it.
And he's doubled over in a little pain after taking those 2 big hits from the secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what a feeling it must be for Tony Dungy.
Oh, there's no feeling like it. And I guarantee you when this game is over, every guy on that team will surround him. It's going to be a great feeling for him.
Crowd on its feet as it prepares for what may be the game's final play. Moon buys some extra time for the Hail Mary. And that is it. It's incomplete, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have their first win for head coach Tony Dungy. Dennis Green, a disappointing loss for his first-place Vikings. 24-13 is your final score as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do everything right, especially in the second half, to collect a big victory over the Minnesota Vikings.
You know, we talked to Denny Green yesterday and how close he was to Tony Dungy. They were